Attention, ladies and gentlemen, our city council meeting will be starting in 1 minute.
The Oak Park City Council is called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk Norris, would you call the roll?
Mayor McClellan.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Here.
Councilmember Burns.
Here.
Councilmember Rich.
Here.
Councilmember Weiss.
Here.
Full house. Next, we need a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. We have a few items on the consent agenda. These are routine items presented without discussion. Regular council meeting minutes of January 22nd, 2019. Request to cancel the February 11th Planning Commission meeting, lack of business. Payment application number 1 for the 2018-19 miscellaneous concrete repair project, M682, to Mattioli Cement Company Limited in the amount of $224,518.53. And finally, licenses, new and renewals, is submitted for February 4th. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Any elected officials here to speak? Seeing none. We do have a special event, if the cameras can look at the back of the room. We have a number of Oak Park's finest here. I'd like to welcome Director Steve Cooper.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Council, and City Manager Tungate. Just give me a quick second here to get set up and be rolling. Again, I want to thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity to acknowledge some outstanding work that's been done by our Public Safety Department over the last several months. This evening, I will be presenting 2 merit citations, 2 unit citations, longevity awards, and safe driving awards. Over the years, I've been blessed with the opportunity to stand before this council and present many awards. Too often, we hear of some of the most tragic and unfortunate situations from around the world that involve our public safety officers, and a lot of the true heroic efforts of the dedicated men and women who serve each day are either glanced over or not even mentioned at all. Amen. So again, I want to thank you. In the interest of time, I will be calling each of the officers to the front of council chambers to read their awards. After I've read all the awards, I would ask if the city manager and council would not mind posing for a quick group photo. I will then ask my officers to excuse themselves from the council chambers to allow council to continue with the agenda, and Deputy Director Pinkerton and I will physically hand out the awards in the City Hall lobby. I would like to start out first with our first merit citation. And as I call your names, I would ask that you come forward, stand front and center, and face the audience, please. Officer John Stanton. Officer John Stanton is a 15-year veteran of the Public Safety Department. He's a highly decorated officer and has received numerous awards and citations throughout his career. Officer Stanton is a field training officer, an evidence technician, an arson investigator. He's currently assigned to the day shift. We're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department. I would ask Officer Scott Dickle to come and stand front and center. Officer Scott Dickle is a 14-year veteran of the department. He is a highly decorated officer as well and has numerous awards and citations throughout his career. Officer Dickle is a field training officer and is also an evidence technician. He's currently assigned to the day shift. We're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department as well. Officer Donald Hoffman. Officer Donald Hoffman is a 6-year veteran of the department. He's a highly decorated officer, has received numerous awards and citations throughout his career. Officer Hoffman serves as an evidence technician for the department, is currently assigned to the day shift. We're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department as well. Also listed on the merit citation, but currently not present this evening, is Lieutenant Marlon Benson, Sergeant James Vernier, Officer Ryan Beasley, and Officer Scott Turner. Without further ado, I'll read the merit citation. It's referenced a residential fire/medical, and it reads as follows. It says, on Tuesday, November 6, 2018, officers responded to the 23,000 block of Gardner on the report of a residential kitchen fire. Officers arrived on scene and observed heavy smoke coming from the interior of the home. Upon arriving on scene, officers were unable to account for the homeowner who initially placed the 911 call. Officers immediately formed a search and rescue team and prepared to make entry into the home while simultaneously coordinating a fire suppression and a rapid intervention team. During an interior search of the home, officers forced entry into a bathroom and located the victim wedged behind the door. The victim was barely conscious with labored breathing. Officers removed the victim from the residence, placing her on the front lawn of the home where they began rescue breathing efforts. Officers also continued firefighting efforts to suppress the fire. The victim was stabilized and transported to a hospital for further observation and care. Due to the quick actions of all of the officers on scene and the prompt medical treatment performed, the patient's life was saved. You are commended for the excellent manner in which you performed your duties in this incident, and is signed by myself, the Director of Public Safety. Congratulations. For my second merit citation, I would like to call up the following officers, and as I call your name, would you please come and stand front and center as well. Officer Andrew Bellinger. You three can stay, you might as well stay right up here with the rest of them. Yep. We'll just. Yeah.
Nice try.
Keep those pretty faces up here. Officer Andrew Bellinger is a 13-year veteran of the Public Safety Department. He is a highly decorated officer who has received numerous awards and citations throughout his career. Officer Bellinger is currently assigned to the midnight shift. He serves as an evidence technician. He's also a field training officer. Officer Bellinger is a dedicated and hardworking officer, and we are very fortunate to have him as a member of this department. Next, I would like to call up Officer Jay Schwa Lee. Officer Schwa Lee is a 2-year veteran of the Public Safety Department. He's currently assigned to our midnight shift. He's on his way to becoming a very highly decorated officer. He's an extremely hardworking young man with endless potential. We're very fortunate to have him as a member of this department. I would like to call up Officer Timothy Gore. Officer Gore is a 2-year veteran of the Public Safety Department, who's also on his way to becoming a highly decorated officer. Officer Gore is currently assigned to the midnight shift and is an extremely hard worker, and we are very fortunate to have him as a member of this department. I'd like to mention as well, Sergeant Joseph Meyer is out of town and was not able to attend. He's also listed on his merit citation. And without further ado, I'll read it. It's a medical, and it reads as follows. It says, on Tuesday, November 27, 2018, officers responded to the 14,000 block of Balfour on the report of an unresponsive 30-year-old male possibly suffering from an overdose of heroin. Officers arrived on scene to find the patient's wife attempting to administer CPR. A quick assessment of the patient revealed he was not breathing and absent a pulse. Officers immediately initiated CPR and prepared a dose of Narcan. While administering CPR, the patient regained a pulse and started taking shallow breaths. Further information determined that the patient had recently taken an overdose of heroin and was experiencing a reaction. Officers administered 2 doses of Narcan, at which time the patient's breathing improved momentarily. The patient again stopped breathing and there were no signs of a pulse. Officers continued CPR, and after several minutes, the patient regained a pulse and once again started breathing. As Alliance ambulance arrived on scene, the patient had regained consciousness. After stabilizing the patient's vital signs, he was able to walk to the ambulance, at which time he was transported to an area hospital for advanced care. Due to the quick actions and efficient medical treatment performed by the officers involved, this patient's life was saved. You are commended for the excellent manner in which you performed your duties in this incident, and is signed by myself, the Director of Public Safety. Congratulations. The next award will be a unit citation. And as I call your names, would you please come forward, stand front and center, please. First, I'd like to call up Detective Matthew Tyson. Detective Tyson is a 17-year veteran of the department. He has received several awards and citations and is a highly decorated officer. Detective Tyson is an evidence technician and also one of our firearms instructor. He's also served on the department's special response team. We are extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department. Next, I'd like to call up Officer Eric Zarfel. Officer Zarfel is a 15-year veteran of the department. He is a highly decorated officer who has received numerous awards and citations. Officer Zarfel currently works the day shift and serves as the president for the Oak Park Police Officers Union. We are extremely fortunate to have him as a member of the department as well. Detective Brian Barker. Detective Barker is a 15-year veteran of the department. He is a highly decorated officer who has received numerous awards and citations. Detective Barker serves as one of our defensive tactics instructor and was formerly a member of the department's special response team. We're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department. Lieutenant Troy Taylor. Lieutenant Taylor is a 20-year veteran of the department and is currently serving as the commanding officer of the Investigations Bureau. He is a highly decorated officer who has received numerous awards and citations. He is a firearms instructor. He oversees our field training officer program. He is one of the lead instructors in Oakland County for the Oakland County Response Group. He was the commander of our Oak Park Special Response Team as well. We're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department. Without further ado, I will read the unit citation, and this is reference robbery, armed / carjacking. It reads as follows. It says, on Tuesday, July 17th, 2018, officers responded to the 21,000 block of Cloverlawn Street on the report of a robbery, armed / carjacking that had just occurred in the victim's driveway. Upon arriving on scene, officers immediately interviewed the victim and were able to obtain key information regarding the vehicle being equipped with the tracking device. Upon activating the device, it was determined that the vehicle was in the area of Hamilton and McNichol Streets in the city of Detroit. Oak Park detectives responded to the scene to assist and were updated that the vehicle was stolen at gunpoint and was in the city of Detroit. Detectives were ultimately able to track the vehicle to a residential location on the east side of Detroit. As they approached the vehicle, they noticed a male standing in close proximity that matched the description of the suspect. When the detectives attempted to speak with the subject, he fled the scene on foot through the neighborhood. After a foot pursuit, detectives were able to apprehend the subject, placing him under arrest. As detectives continued their investigation, they were able to locate the keys to the stolen vehicle, along with the firearm that was used during the robbery. Detectives were also able to locate surveillance footage of the suspect inside the vehicle. Due to the quick response and outstanding work of all of the officers involved, the suspect, Sean Thomas, who was recently released from prison, was apprehended and charged with 7 felonies, including robbery, armed, and carjacking. You are commended for the excellent manner in which you performed your duties in this incident, and this is signed by the Director of Public Safety, myself. Congratulations. The fourth presentation will be a unit citation. As I call your name, would you please come and stand front and center? Detective David Cardinelli. Detective David Cardinelli is a 15-year veteran with this department. He is a highly decorated officer who has received numerous awards throughout his career. Detective Cardinelli also serves as an evidence technician. We're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department. Detective Anthony Kerrigan. Detective Kerrigan is a 13-year member of this department. He is a highly decorated officer who has received numerous awards and citations throughout his career. Detective Kerrigan is a defensive tactics instructor, a field training officer, and a former member of the department's special response team. We're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department as well. Sergeant Maureen Bergman. Sergeant Bergman is a 22-year veteran of this department. She's received numerous awards and citations throughout her career. Sergeant Bergman is a former member of the Major Crimes Task Force. She's currently assigned to the Investigations Bureau and is second in command of the Bureau. Also on this citation is Lieutenant Troy Taylor, Detective Matthew Tyson, Detective Brian Barker, Detective David Taylor, Officer Ryan Beasley, and Officer John Stanton. And without further ado, I will read the unit citation. And this is a homicide. And it reads as follows. It says, on Saturday, March 17th, 2018, officers responded to a report of a deceased female inside a home located on the 24,000 block of Beverly Street. Officers arrived on scene and determined that the deceased was the victim of a homicide, suffering a single gunshot wound to the neck. Officers conducted interviews with the victim's father, along with the victim's live-in boyfriend, in addition to canvassing the neighborhood for witnesses and photographing the scene. Detectives from the Investigations Bureau responded to the scene and began their investigation. Multiple interviews were conducted, focusing on the live-in boyfriend of the victim. He denied any involvement in the death of his girlfriend. Detectives continued a diligent investigation, gathering evidence such as cell phone records, residential surveillance footage, nail clippings, DNA, along with the suspect's clothing, which were sent to the Oakland County's crime lab. Detectives also kept the suspect under surveillance as he was arrested days later after oddly meeting with family members at a location in Redford, Michigan, in an attempt to flee the area to avoid capture. Meanwhile, the Oakland County Sheriff's Crime Lab expedited their process that produced positive evidence which led to the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office issuing charges of open murder on the suspect, Ray Jackson. Mr. Jackson is currently waiting trial on those charges. Due to the thorough and diligent investigation of all of the officers involved, a dangerous felon was taken into custody. You are commended for the excellent manner in which you performed your duties in this incident, and your unit citation is signed by myself, Director of Public Safety. Congratulations. At this time, I'd like to move to the longevity awards. The longevity award I'd like to present at this time. The demands that are placed on our officers and dispatchers who serve in this profession is like none other. The men and women that you see standing here today serve the citizens of this great community daily with honor and integrity. For every 5 years of service that our officers give, we mark and recognize the occasion with the department's longevity award. As I call your name, would you please come front and center, please? Officer Robert Cook. Officer Cook is a 16-year veteran of the department. He is a highly decorated officer and has received numerous awards and citations throughout his career. He is an evidence technician and one of our former detectives. He currently serves as the community resource officer. We're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of our department, and this is Officer Cook. We're recognizing him for his 15-year longevity award, and this year will be his 16th year. Officer Paul Desowitz, please come forward. Officer Desowitz is a 6-year veteran of the department. He is a highly decorated officer and has received numerous awards and citations. For 4 consecutive years, from 2014 through 2017, he has led the department with the most drunk driving arrests and was recognized each year by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. He is currently assigned to the Day Shift Patrol Division. We're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department, and we're recognizing Officer Desowitz. This would be his 5-year award. This year makes 6. Also receiving a longevity award tonight, already standing front and center, is Officer Scott Dichtel, 10-year award. Also standing front and center is Officer Donald Hoffman. We're recognizing him with his 5-year award. Officer Andrew Bellinger, who's standing front and center, we are recognizing him with a 10-year award. Officer Matthew Tyson, who is also standing front and center, is being recognized with a 15-year award. The final award that I would like to present is that of our Safe Driving Award. This award is presented to each officer who has not been involved in an at-fault accident for 5 consecutive years. Driving is one of the key functions of a public safety officer. Not only do our officers drive patrol vehicles, they are also responsible for navigating fire trucks, which measure up to 35 feet in length. We respond to approximately 15,000 calls per service per year. The citizens of this community whom we serve depend heavily on the services that our public safety officers provide. Our first priority is to arrive safely on scene in order to deliver that service. I would like to call up front and center Officer Bernard Anderson. Officer Bernard Anderson is a 23-year veteran of the department. He is a highly decorated officer who has received numerous awards and citations throughout his career. For several years, Officer Anderson served as one of our motor officers when the department had our motorcycle unit. His skill level and precision as a safe driver stands hands and shoulders with the best. We're extremely fortunate to have him as a member of this department, and his 5-year Safe Driving Award is from 2012 through 2016. Some of these are staggered because of the timing as far as, so it may not be actually correspond from 2019 back to 2015. But I will read the rest of the officers who have received the Safe Driving Award. Standing front and center is Officer Scott Dichtel. From 2012 through 2016, we're recognizing him for a Safe Driving Award. Sergeant Maureen Bergman, from looks like 2011 through 2015, for her Safe Driving Award, and she's already well on her way to her second one here from the 15 through 19. I hope I didn't jinx you though, Mayor Mo. Lieutenant Troy Taylor, we're recognizing him for a Safe Driving Award from 2013 to 2017. Brian Barker, 2011 through 2015. David Cardinelli, 2012 through 2016. Anthony Kerrigan, 2012 through 2016. And Officer Robert Cook, 2014 through 2018. This is pretty much going to conclude my portion of the presentation, but again, I want to thank the city manager and city council for allowing me this forum to recognize and honor our public safety officers. I know each of you have put in long hours prior to this meeting this evening, and it means a lot to me personally and to my officers for you to so graciously allow us this time to honor and recognize them. So again, I thank you. And before I ask council to come down with the city manager to take a photo, I would just again like to thank the men and women that I serve with on a daily basis. The work that they do is outstanding and second to none. I would put this department up against any department in the state, any department in the country. The sacrifices that our public safety officers make on a day in and day out basis, I know this council and this city manager appreciates it, and I want them to know that I appreciate it as well. I stand shoulder to shoulder with them. I encourage you each day to go out and continue to give that effort that our citizens deserve. And like I said, congratulations. God bless you. I love you, and keep serving this community in the manner that we have been. Thank you. You did a good job. However you want to do it.
We're going to have to go up.
Go ahead, boss. Take over. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate you allowing me the chance to sit here and recognize you guys.
Hey, Director Cooper.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? You got such a great group of guys.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me recognize you.
Anytime you need.
I know, like I said, you guys been here all day and you want to get out, so I'm trying to hurry up and move
No.
along.
Take all the time you need.
No, thank you. Yeah, we'll be firebombing, picture on photobombing. However you want.
Stand right in the middle. Nice hair. True set.
Yeah. Look, I'm my boss now.
Jay, stay. Yep. And Andy, you come back a step that way. Between your shoulders has to be on that crease. Yeah, that's middle, isn't it?
And we're doing like this too. Everybody,
Middle's right here.
oh, put your left hand on the shoulder of the guy next to you.
Why can't you follow directions?
The other left. Hoffman still can't figure that one out.
With the chairs, can you flip them and come in front of the Want to take up more?
All right, good.
Sure you got it?
It's a good thing we surrounded Mo between Cook and Troy. The two tallest up here. Cook, Sipowicz, Mo, Troy.
Is that it? All family?
Wait, what?
I think family's coming around.
Who?
Tyson, come down here.
Kids, whoever got kids, man, bring one down.
We're going down.
Is it people just with kids, so I'm out? I'm in.
Are you my mom? Hey, have you seen the movie? Have you seen the movie 8th Grade?
Oh, wait, are we all going down?
No, just
Oh, no.
you gotta watch it.
Is it funny?
It's really good. I watched it with Lena.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, is it?
That's not bad. Is it?
We can get us all in there.
And he's got sons.
He's one of those people that I think has an imaginary family because I've never seen them.
His dad was so proud. Just got taking pictures.
Can you give him space here?
Hey. You got everybody down here, Benny? We
Tell
good?
Desk to start with this.
Where is
I
he?
know these things.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you hear him? Tell Dustin to stay away. He might like
I've been
that.
eyeballing that thing all night. This end.
Cook said,
It's a hammerhead.
oh, like,
Desk, what you gonna have to get through me to get that thing?
this way or not? Oh, we gotta go live now.
No spaces for guns.
She waits up until I get home.
Oh,
But don't let that affect the meeting, by all. We're supposed to get, oh, I should say this to all of you. Look, you guys,
yep,
we're supposed to get ice
ice,
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
They're saying there's gonna be a lot of power outages Tuesday night.
Are you gonna announce that? I would announce that during the meeting.
Ice storm. Yeah,
Or
so,
would you anticipate having like,
closures,
yeah,
I don't know. My junior meteorologist, Kevin Yee, he's good, I'll tell you. But I won't know until the very last minute.
That's a hard act to follow. We have item 13, ordinances. Oh, no, approval of, we got to pay our lawyers first. Approval for payment of invoices submitted by Garen Luco Miller for legal services in the total amount of $12,391.34.
So moved.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
yes,
motion carried. Now, item 13A, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Article 19, Special Land Uses of the City of Oak Park Code of Ordinances. Is there a motion to accept the second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Motion carried. Item 13B, second reading and adoption of an ordinance to amend Sections 2, 353 and 2, 354 of Chapter 2, Article 3, Division 8 of the City of Oak Park Code of Ordinances. Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes. Motion carried. Okay, we're into Section 15, the City Manager section. City Manager Eric Tungate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have the honor of calling up our Assistant City Manager, Kevin Yee, to discuss 15A through D. But before I do, I did want to mention that it appears to me, and I'm frantically looking for it here, but it appears to me that we're looking for the possibility tomorrow night, overnight, for a significant ice storm to take place. And if it does, obviously, I would presume we're going to have power outages and things like that. So I wanted to make people aware of that. We have not decided at this time to close city facilities or anything like that. If we do, of course, we'll do everything we can to make sure everyone knows and is aware. So, Kevin, 15A, please.
Thank you. Hopefully that avoids us, but it doesn't look good right now. 15A is a maintenance agreement with the Road Commission for Oakland County for street sweeping, litter pickup, and lawn mowing services from Greenfield Road, or on Greenfield Road from 8 to 10 Mile Roads, and on 10 Mile Road from Greenfield to Maplefield. The Road Commission for Oakland County is offered to compensate the City of Oak Park $16,591.65 this season for those services. We would be required to sweep those roads 3 times per year and perform litter picking and lawn mowing services 5 times per year. Of course, we do the lawn mowing on a weekly basis, which is one of the reasons why we wanted to take over this service from the Road Commission, because they were not doing it often enough. It is recommended that City Council approve the attached agreement with the Road Commission for Oakland County for street sweeping, litter pickup, and lawn mowing services on Greenfield Road from 8 to 10 Mile Roads and on 10 Mile Road from Greenfield to Maplefield.
Okay, is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Is this the same contract that we've had previously?
Yes, it's the same contract and for the same amount, so the
same
amount
amount.
is the same. We feel it's about a break-even contract for us.
Any questions? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Assistant City Manager Yee, 15B, please.
An attached proposal from Quantum Spatial will perform an aerial flyover that will determine by individual parcel the amount of impervious surface that will be utilized to determine the stormwater charges that we now have to break out. Funding need to be appropriated from the Water and Sewer Fund balance for this project. It is recommended that the proposal from Quantum Spatial be approved for the amount of $23,957 upon review from the City Attorney's Office. It is further recommended that this project be funded by the Water and Sewer Fund balance.
Okay, a motion to approve this proposal, please.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Questions or discussion? Yes, Councilmember Weiss.
Yes, a couple of questions. One, just to clarify, we do need to calculate the amount of impermeable surface in order to recalculate water, or sewage rates rather, pursuant to the settlement of the water.
For storm sewer rates, correct.
Correct.
Storm
So this
sewer.
is something that we are required to do, just to be clear about
We're
that.
required to do it. We feel that this is the most accurate way to do it, but we are required to break out these stormwater charges, correct?
Correct. So, a I agree with that. Is this company, and the proposal looks really impressive, but is this company the only company that does this sort of thing? Is this something that we might want to bid out to see if we can get a better rate?
So what we did was we've been searching around to see what other communities are doing. We've met with OHM, who's been doing this for a number of communities, including City of Detroit, City of Royal Oak, a number of communities. They gave me this proposal, and we were actually looking for them for some kind of guidance on how they're doing this to other communities. Based on our capabilities in-house, they felt like we could do it in-house, whereas they're providing the service for others, so they kind of gave us some guidance. So they provided this company as what they thought was the best around to do the work, and they gave us the proposal that they had provided to Royal Oak to do the service. This Quantum Spatial is doing this for Royal Oak. Royal Oak is over twice as large as we are. They're 11.8 square miles, whereas we're 5.16 square miles, and they're paying $56,043 for the same service. So we are significantly less than half of that, probably 40% of what they're paying. And, you know, on a smaller project, that's pretty impressive. So we're able to piggyback on them being in the air doing Royal Oaks, and this is a great price to do it. So I'm recommending them because they've come highly recommended. It is a professional service, and we know they'll give us what we need to do this.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Further questions?
I do have one other question.
Yes.
This might be an obvious one, but they have to do this in the winter, I assume?
Yes, they want to do that this winter, but yet at the same time, they don't want to do it when there's snow on the ground. So there's going to be a spot actually kind of towards the spring where the leaves aren't on the trees yet, but yet they can see the grass and the impervious surface, right? If it's
Get out
covered
there
in snow,
tomorrow.
they can't tell.
It might be the last chance
Right.
they have.
So, you know, there's a fine line for when they want to do it. That's why we want to get on their docket, so to speak, and get them here while they're doing Royal Oaks and to take advantage of the pricing.
Thank you.
Further questions? Ready to vote?
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Assistant City Manager Yee, 15C, please.
Attached is a copy of MDOT contract number 195007 for the 9 Mile Road Diet Project. This project will create roadway improvements and non-motorized trail construction work along 9 Mile Road from McLean Drive easterly to Pinecrest Drive. This will include roadway configuration, concrete sidewalk ramps, drainage improvements, trailhead, permanent signing, and pavement marking work. The total project cost is estimated at $1,478,800, of which $983,826 will be paid by federal funds. Ferndale will be responsible for approximately 17% of the project, and they will be responsible for that payment as well. It is recommended that City Council approve the MDOT contract number 195007 upon review of the City Attorney's Office and authorize the Mayor and City Clerk to sign the contract on behalf of the city.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved?
Support.
Moved and supported. Questions or discussion? This sounds pretty exciting, like we're really going to start working on this project that we've been talking about since we won that wonderful grant from the Oregon group that flew in and looked at our 9 Mile Road and talked to hundreds of residents about what they wanted to see and what they wanted to do, and now we are actually...
Yes, this is the easterly portion of all that work that we have done, yes.
Wow.
Yes, the bid opening for this project is March 1st, so we'll know what the bids come in. We're hoping, keeping our fingers crossed, that they come in within our budget. We've seen bids, as you probably know, have gone up quite a bit from the original estimates.
Right. So there's going to be, you're talking about fountains and all kinds of wonderful things.
There's no fountains in this. There's new trails. There's a trailhead. There's a bike repair station. There's
I sworn I saw fountains.
Little bridge.
water fountain. Yeah, I'm sorry, are you referring to water fountain?
Drinking fountain.
There are some drinking fountains, yes.
Yeah.
I apologize. When you say fountain, I thought a big water feature. So, no, I apologize for that. Yes, there are some water fountains.
And I wanted that little one on the bottom for the dogs.
And I believe that we've talked about that. Yeah, there being a dog station. So-
Be still my heart. That's great. Any discussion? Yes,
I have a question.
Mayor Pro Tem.
The 17% that Ferndale pays, is that of 1.4 million or 980,000?
Well, they would be responsible for about 17% of the project, so it would be of the
Of the
1.4
1.4.
million.
And I'm
they
sorry, it
would
wouldn't be the 980, it would be what's left over.
Right, and they would
Okay,
get their
so-
federal share of that as well.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, gotcha.
Any other questions, discussion? Comments? Yes.
Just a comment that it's very rewarding to see this project come to fruition
Amen.
from the town hall meetings that we had 2 years ago
Yes, absolutely.
to now. You
Yeah.
know, and I just must say that it's good to see projects progress along, and that something that we can keep up with, and the residents can keep up with. If they watch the city council meetings, they can see every few months or every quarter, something is going through in regards to this project that started 2 years ago with town hall meetings, so.
Absolutely. We keep pushing ahead, and
Yeah.
I stand before you with this contract, but a lot of that work that went into this was Kim Maroney's. She really was diligent about pushing forward with these TAP grants and getting these projects off the ground.
Thank you.
It's really what she said, that's first of all. And 2 years ago, I didn't know what a charrette was. And now we all do. It's when we all get together and talk about what we would like to see in the city.
Absolutely.
It's just exciting to see it happening. I think this is going to be a life changer for the city, particularly the
I agree.
9-mile
This
stretch.
is a huge project for us.
And a morale booster.
Morale booster and business attractor, and it's very exciting to see it start.
Madam Mayor,
Yes?
if I may too, I don't want to say too much, but I do want to say, in addition to supporting this project just from being on council, as someone who lives very close to 9 Mile, I'm very excited to be able to directly benefit from being near this project when it's complete. I think it's going to be huge for that area, and I'm very excited about it. And I just want to thank everyone who's been working very hard on this project.
Amen.
Thank you.
Super. So if there are no further comments, we ready to vote?
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Motion carried. D.
Assistant City Manager, Yee 15D, but before you go, I want to pay a thank you to Kevin Yee, because Kevin Yee's very humble, and he's not taking credit or anything like that, but without him, the very building we're sitting in wouldn't be possible. So thank you for all your hard work, and you have everything to do with this, along with a lot of our other staff, Crystal McLean, Kim Maroney, et cetera. So thank you very much. And now 15D.
Well, thank you. 15D is a request for authorization to purchase public works and engineering vehicles. The Public Works Department is requesting authorization to purchase the following vehicles from the Macomb County bid, State of Michigan bid, and Rochester Hills pre-bid contracts. So funding for these vehicles, there's a 2019 Ford Escape for the Technical and Planning Engineering Department, 2019 Ram Crew Cab for the Public Works Department, 2019 Ram Crew Cab 4x4 for the Public Works Department, and a large dump truck for the Public Works Department as well. That one comes with a little nuance that I want to explain. So when we originally had this in the budget, our fleet of trucks are getting very old. We have 6 large trucks. They range from 1996 to 2005 is our newest. And so when we were looking at trucks, this was originally designated as a water and sewer truck, but we thought, let's add the plow features to this, because our trucks are breaking down regularly when we're plowing snow. We need as many in the fleet as we can. So we added the underbody plow onto this truck for an additional $11,400. We want to pay for that out of the major street fund in the winter maintenance, which we do have available funding, I should say, in that account. So I wanted to add that. That is unbudgeted, but it will fall within the budget of our supply account. The prices for salt were not as high as we thought, so the prices were down. We have enough money in our supplies account easily to cover the cost of that extra plow. Sure. And I think it's critical for our operation. So it is recommended that City Council authorize Public Works Department to participate in the Macomb County, State of Michigan, and Rochester Hills pre-bid contracts for the purchase of these vehicles. It is further recommended that we utilize available funding in the Major Street Fund Winter Maintenance Fund to equip the dump truck with an underbody plow for snow removal operations.
Okay, who will move to authorize this purchase?
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem, yep. Discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Rich.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Councilmember Burns.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, members of council, that completes the city manager report for this evening. Thank you very much.
When it comes to city staff, we lucked out in the city of Oak Park, just all down the line. Call to the audience. Please give us your name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Joyce Bannon, 10611 Troy. I wanted to say I'm very proud of the city for the snow plowing they did before the rain came and then the ice came, but the snow plowing was great so that when it did get warm, the streets are clear. I play in Ferndale, I live in Oak Park, and driving through Ferndale, I slipped and slided on all what was left on the ground, so I appreciate Oak Park. And also, I've complained before about the audio for when you're at home listening to the city council meeting. I will say that I've heard from some of my seniors that the audio has improved. I don't know how come, what for, why, but that's what I heard from some of my seniors. And Councilman Rich, they still can't hear you down there. I have informed them that you don't have a whole lot to say too often.
But what I say is important.
Okay, well, they can't hear you, and I said he doesn't say much anyway, so that's all. Thank you.
Anyone else, please? Yes. Just to let city council members know that there was a sheet about Knox Home Box in your mailbox that you might want to look at, and this resident is going to discuss what this is and why it's in your mailbox.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. My name is Sue Malkin, and I am proud to say, I can get my teacher voice going. I'm proud to say that I have been a resident since 1965, which makes it a little over 54 years, and my husband's family came in the early 50s. So I've seen a lot of progress, and I'm very proud to be here. I wanted to talk about this Knox box, which you probably never heard of before, or if you did, you're not sure of what it is. And I heard about it from a friend of mine that lives in Huntington Woods. She went to an informational meeting that the city had and came away and gave me some information. The Knox box, and I don't know if you still have the papers or not.
Everybody.
Okay. The Knox box is for property owners who want to have peace of mind, and I'll go on and explain that. I always wondered what would happen if my doors are locked, I'm in the house all by myself, call 911. How does public safety get in? The Knox box takes care of that. And let me just say that it is no cost to the city. I've talked to the people at Knox box a couple of times getting information because, truthfully, I have not seen it, and I don't know anybody yet that has one. The Knox box is what they call a rapid access system, RAS for homeowners. There's no breaking down of the door, smashing of the windows, and no damage to the home. And the home can be resecured very well. The Knox box is for first responders to enter the home quickly, reduce property damage, and make for resecuring property easier and faster. The Knox box, there's two different styles. One is put like on the outside of the house wherever the resident determines. The other kind goes over the door and seems to work for some people that don't want to attach it to the home. It's a one-time purchase by the resident, no cost to the city. Okay. There is a master key that fits any Knox box, okay? And in a moment, I'm going to go through the steps of what happens with the key.
Time is running out, so summarize.
Okay.
Yep.
What happens basically is the city has to fill out a form for authorization. And Oak Park filled out a form in 2006. What has happened to it, I don't know. It's a long, long time. They send this form in, then the resident orders the Knox box. It comes, as far as I know, it comes to the home, and it is opened. The resident places a key of their own in the box. Public safety has the one key that can open the box. They have to come to the home and lock the box. If I had one and I wanted my daughter to have a key, there's just one, and that is kept wherever the city decides. Each city is assigned its own key, and the key is taken back to public safety. Huntington Woods has had one from 2016. Ferndale has one, Birmingham, Clawson, Farmington, and Farmington Hills, all within the last 3 years or so. I know that I would be sleeping much better, being all by myself now, to know that if something happened, somebody can get in, and the only one would be the public safety. The cost is $163 for the one that goes on the door, and the one over the door, I think, was $183. That includes shipping, I was told, but no tax. And it comes with different plates, so that if the household owner wants something a little different in color, there's a back plate. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much for this public service announcement. And for those of us, Sue and I went to the same elementary school,
Yep.
McDowell Elementary on Outer Drive in 19 Mumbledy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Mayor Pro Tem Radner.
Good night, everybody.
Member Burns.
Thank you. I also went to McDowell Elementary School.
Oh, I
West Outer
didn't know
Drive, yes,
that.
in 19 Bumbly. And I also wanted to bring back, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this or not, but Kevin Yee, for item 15D, the savings that we derived from the vehicles that we proposed to purchase covers the cost of the additional plows, so we don't have to go back into the general fund. I just quickly added it up. It's like $11,142
Wow.
that we saved. So, thank you.
Nice work. Councilmember Weiss.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to, as usual, remind everyone of some great community events that we have coming up. This coming Sunday at 2 p.m. At the library, the concert series continues. Motor City Beat will be performing. They're a Motown cover band, lots of fun, so everyone is encouraged to come out for that. And then right after, you can head over to the community center for the Daddy-Daughter Dance at 5 p.m. That runs to 7 o'clock. There are still tickets available. It's $25 for a couple. And if you want to purchase additional tickets for additional children, they're $12 each. And you can contact the Recreation Department to do that. Thank you so much, everyone, and stay safe in the cold and ice and whatever else comes our way. Have a good night.
Councilmember Rich.
Good night.
Good night. Just like to say another thank you to the DPW staff for their incredible service at minus 14 degrees Fahrenheit, and for the public safety officers who were ordered to go and ticket cars left on the streets so that our streets could be safe for emergency vehicles. Thank you. We had the Battle of the Books, If you are a book nerd, we're going to have it again next year. I know you'll be excited to know that the Babes of Balfour took home the grand prize for creative answers. And just a shout out to my favorite coffee guy, Warren Schulman, who is an Oak Park resident who sells coffee at the Royal Oak Market on Saturday morning and is a faithful listener. So, hi, Warren. There being no further business to come before this council meeting is adjourned.